Thousands of us tonight are on the broad road that leads to destruction. And tonight, I would say with Moses, I would say with Joshua, turn, repent, choose God, serve Him, live for Him. That is the message of God tonight to this great audience of people at Yankee Stadium.
I see revival coming to planet Earth, maybe as never before. It will be untold numbers, an untold, uncounted multitudes that will be saved. The dead will be raised. The arthritic will be healed. Cancer will be healed. No disease will be able to stand before God's people, and that it would be a worldwide situation.
There's a church that doesn't just know about God, they know God. They don't just believe in His power, they carry His power. God will shake the United States of America one last time, not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit.
Hey everyone, welcome to Check the Market this morning. Lots going on in the world, most especially because of Mr. Musk buying Twitter. So we're going to delve into that. Patrick is here today. He'll be joining us ASAP. But until he does, welcome Sandra, Deborah, Jesse, Christophorus, Leslie, Cindy, everybody. Ninja Buddha, all the peoples are in the house. And the man himself, Patrick. Welcome, Patrick.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going? How's it going?
Gurn?
Yeah.
What is that?
Medea.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's Gurn.
Jesse, Deborah, Christophorus, Leslie,
Everybody.
Cindy, Ninja, Sandra, Luzanne. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Check the Market. We missed it yesterday. Elon Musk bought Twitter. The deal went through.
I got to cover it on CTN. I was very happy. It was like it was great.
I was kind of jealous, but whatever.
You can be jealous.
No, I didn't think it was going to go through that fast. I thought that it would be much
Really?
more of a fight. Yeah. But I mean, they can't. They have to do what's in the best interest of shareholders.
Exactly.
And that was in the best interest of shareholders.
Absolutely.
McLeod from Eastern Oregon. Welcome. Make sure you make it out to the meetings if you are in Oregon with Evangelist Jonathan. Awesome. Thank you, Deborah. Awesome. Well, let's get
Good
into
stuff.
it. See what's going on.
See what's happening
you
in
got
the
for
world.
us?
Elon Musk could have put that $44 billion towards tackling world poverty. Instead, he used it to send millions of woke liberal narcissists into a spiral of depression. And honestly, I think it's all money well spent. There's so many of these tweets floating out there, like solve world hunger, but no, this is the beauty of doing with your own money what you want. Next. Sean King just deleted his Twitter account. Twitter is becoming a better place already now that Sean is gone. I'm very happy.
Back.
He'll be back, of course. It's all theatrics. Next. Marjorie Taylor Greene is back on Twitter.
Permanently suspended.
So she's putting out there that she was permanently suspended. Now she's back because she can now tweet this out.
because she I see. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Next. Okay, I've not watched this, but supposedly it's absolutely incredible. Let's see what it is.
You own all of Twitter or Facebook or what have you. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate or all of its candidates, all of its nominees, or you could just secretly turn down the reach of their stuff and turn up the reach of something else, and the rest of us might not even find out about it till after the election. Elon Musk says this is all to help people because he is just a free speech, philosophically clear, open-minded helper.
That was on MSNBC.
But that's literally what they've been doing.
That's what they've been doing this whole time.
Well, now that the shoe's on the other foot, but you know what? We don't know that yet for sure.
What
exactly he's going to do. He might say he's a free speech absolutist, but he still has to work with people. So I'm not going to, I'm not going to be in the camp where it's like, okay, well now, now the world is good again.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's what they want everybody to feel.
I would like to see what happens first.
Oh, totally. They have restored several accounts.
Yeah.
Which is great, but come in future, like, okay, so for me, I go down the road of, okay, Tesla isn't about cars, it's about data.
Yeah.
So why would you spend secure funding, $44 billion to get a tech platform?
For data.
It's all for data.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm happy to see I haven't been shadow banned, so I don't know. I don't know. It's very sketchy to me, but I'm happy that it's at the onslaught. It's good.
Yeah.
Right now. Next. First all-private SpaceX crew safely returns off the coast of Florida. I thought this was an interesting update, seeing as we're talking about all things Elon. Next. Trudeau's climate plans could lead to world hunger.
What's he
Let's
doing
see
now?
it. Life expectancy worldwide in 1870 hovered around age 29 years. Modern means of production, along with transportation advances and, of course, the combustion engine, led to a number of technological advances, leading to an explosive improvement in the world's standard of living and extended life expectancy. Worldwide, human life expectancy rose from age 34 by 1913, age 46 by 1950, and sits around age 73 today. Life expectancy is above age 80 in developed nations such as our own. Continue. Historically, one of the main causes of early mortality was starvation and malnutrition. Food production, preservation, and distribution couldn't keep up with growing populations. Thus, starvation during times of drought, war, and actions of dictatorships was relatively common until just a few decades ago. The world's population was around 1.5 billion in 1870, and we couldn't feed everybody. World population is now around 8 billion, and famine is barely a factor in mortality. While 17.7 million people die annually from heart disease, only 310,000 die of starvation. Continue. There's your numbers. Continue. So they just talk about world famine, etc. Let's continue on to where Justin Trudeau enters the picture. Climate change-obsessed zealots, including Canada's own government, are fixated on attacking just about every advancement humanity has ever made through the last century. Energy impacts the cost of everything, and green lunacy has contributed to shooting the costs of energy up at every opportunity, as the work to shut down affordable means of energy generation in favor of impractical ones such as wind and solar. World energy prices are harming us in developed nations, and they are outright devastating in developing nations. Continue. Not content with just raising food costs just through creating spikes in energy costs, the Canadian government, under the guidance of the UN, is now setting its sight on attacking Canadian grain farmers. A new discussion document released by Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, titled Reducing Emissions Arising from the Application of Fertilizer in Canada's Agriculture Sector, targets grain producers for emission reductions. The government wants to crack down on fertilizer use among farmers. Modern fertilizers are a massive component in the mix of technological advances that have led to the world's virtual elimination of famine. Smaller plots of land can produce food more intensively and effectively than was ever imaginable. If we eschew modern chemical means of fertilizer, crop yields will drop dramatically and immediately. Continue. So this just continues on. Canada is the third largest wheat exporter in the world, and we rank among the top producers of many other grains as well. If we attack our own grain production, the impact will not only harm domestic farmers, but put pressure on local food prices. It will impact food supply around the world. It can't be stressed enough just how dangerous this government plan is to meddle in grain production could be. Russia and Ukraine are both top grain producers in the world. So on top of Canada's carbon tax, this is both on oil, but this affects the grain farmers as well. Then you have the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. I thought it was just very interesting that I feel like it's all very intentional. Don't see it as anything but. So something to watch out for with those three nations, Canada, Russia, Ukraine. Next. Shell and BP are now lobbying for a carbon tax to appease the left while hoping a Republican majority will protect them from any real consequences. You can't pressure ours to back a $2 trillion tax hike to expect them to be there for you. From the Washington Examiner, foreign oil companies push for a carbon tax on U.S. consumers. I don't think this is going to pass, but let's see it. Major foreign oil companies are gearing up to embrace the left's climate agenda publicly. With the price of gasoline now averaging $4.12 across the United States, Europe's largest oil companies want to see a national energy tax imposed on Americans. According to the Wall Street Journal, oil giants including Royal Dutch Shell and British Petroleum are pressuring America's largest oil industry trade group to back a national carbon tax. Both Shell and BP appear to be threatening to leave the American Petroleum Institute unless the institute... Yeah, no kidding. I agree. Unless the institute backs the tax plan. The numbers matter here. The carbon tax under consideration would start at upwards of $50 per ton, roughly amounting to a $2 trillion tax hike that would increase gas prices by nearly 46 cents per gallon. According to the Congressional Research Service, the tax would be pegged to increase with inflation. Paradoxically, this tax effort comes at a time when the oil and gas industry is banging the table to lift barriers to U.S. energy production in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The lobbying push for the tax hike is conveniently timed to launch after the midterm elections. When Republicans are expected to win in a wave election, at this point, these companies could begin blaming Republicans for inaction on climate legislation while pointing to their own work lobbying for a carbon tax that would allow them to deflect fire from environmental activists, activities, and the media. So I love how all these carbon taxes, I've felt it in Canada, it's always, we'll leave it at this one price. We'll cap it at this one price, and then we will never move it from there.
That's what they said about the income tax.
Exactly.
It's all a bunch of baloney.
Yeah.
And I don't understand, who do these European companies think they are? Colonialism is over. Like, stop. You're not in charge of the world anymore. Just stop.
Exactly.
The quicker you learn that Europeans, my fellow Europeans, because I am one, I have the passport to prove it. So just stop.
Quit it.
This is the land of the free.
It's better if you're God anyway. Not you, them. Next.
Michael, I think, honestly, it might get stretched to 2025. I was reading on it, up on it, and that's what a lot of people are saying, that it probably won't be until 2025 that there's going to be any like real solid movement. There might be for XRP, there might be just like it has been. It might go up to over $1, it might go to $2, it might go to $3, but I don't think that we're gonna see anything crazy, possibly even until 2025. That's what I'm personally preparing for. That way, if this year, because last year I was like, okay, we're going to the moon. And so now that I'm preparing myself that this might not be over until 2025, then it's not a big deal. It's just a long-term investment that I hold, that I'm going to, every now and then when the price is good, I'm going to buy some more. But it's not going to be something that I'm like looking at on a daily basis to, hoping for a moonshot. That's just my personal opinion though. But I was doing a research on that a couple of days ago. All right, let's see that article. Market's actually going to open in 4 seconds. So let's do that first. And markets are open. Dow Jones is down 215 points, NASDAQ down 85 points, and the S&P down 24 points. Oil is right at $100 a barrel. Gold is up slightly. Silver is up slightly. Let's take a look at cryptocurrencies. Over the last 24 hours, the market is up 3.27%. Bitcoin just took a little bit of a dip again, or everything basically, but it's still up over 4% over the last 24 hours. Yesterday was brutal. 42.05. I believe we hit 38,000 yesterday on Bitcoin at one point, I think. 29.67 for Ethereum. XRP's at 67 cents. Terra is up 8.14%. Dogecoin up over 10%, almost 11%.
Wow.
Let's see what else. Solana is up 3.34%, so not too bad.
Where's Twitter at today?
Twitter, I don't know if they already stopped trading it. Twitter is at 51.30.
All right.
Currently. Yesterday they stopped trading on it. All right, let's see that article. Amazon, after all the drama that was enacted, Tesla CEO Elon Musk finally wrapped up the Twitter deal on Monday. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is raising concerns about Tesla's reliance on China as a market and its implications for Twitter with the new owner. Bezos questioned whether the Chinese government has gained a bit of leverage over Twitter following its deal to be acquired by Musk, which I think is hilarious because everything that you buy on Amazon,
it's all China.
comes from China. His query came while quote tweeting the New York Times reporter Mike Forsyth's observation on Musk's business links with China and Twitter's ban in China, which has been in place since 2009. Continue. Bezos also answered himself by stating that the deal would mean more complexity for Tesla in China rather than the implication it has for Twitter censorship. The billionaire also suggested that it remains to be seen how the scenario involves, but said Musk is good at navigating this kind of complexity. My own answer to this question is probably not. The more likely outcome in this regard is complexity in China for Tesla rather than censorship at Twitter. Bezos and Musk share a not-so-cordial relationship, and their rivalry,
there you
thank
go.
you very much, dates back to 2002 when the latter launched his SpaceX business in direct competition with the former Blue Origin established 2 years earlier. So they've been taking shots at each other. I think if I was Elon, I would just buy Amazon. Be like, you know what?
Just do it.
I'm just going to buy your company.
I would just do it.
Continue. Continue. Musk's net worth is currently at 257. Yeah, okay, whatever. Next. Heard you're buying Twitter. Amazon is next. Bruh. Add to cart.
Love it.
I wonder what kind of polish he uses. Continue. Armor All McGuire's. What does he use?
Oh, dear.
Incredible. Kramer, Twitter's board has no choice but to reject Elon Musk's offer, which is why it went through so quickly. We should have seen this coming. Kramer does it again.
Jeez. You know, it takes real, what word am I looking for? Talent. To be this wrong all the time, and it always to reverse. It's very impressive.
It has to be like 80%.
It has to be. Seriously.
It's the oil from the baby seals. Continue. Jimmy is no longer a vaccine expert. He's no longer a war strategist. He's now an acquisitions consultant. The real pressure on the Twitter board, the astounding collapse in value of Facebook. Yes, I'm sure you knew exactly what the pressure is on Twitter's board.
Gosh.
I think it's hilarious. Continue.
Oh, dear.
Takeover secured Elon Musk, the world's richest person, to buy Twitter for $44 billion. Let's see it. There's a new boss in social media. Elon Musk, the CEO of the world's premier electric vehicles company with a net worth north of $265 billion, will now add Twitter to his portfolio. On Monday, Twitter accepted Musk's offer to purchase the company for $54.20 per share. Continue. The Tesla chief first made an offer on April 14th, just days after becoming the social media company's largest shareholder. I invested in Twitter as I believe its potential to be a platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a societal imperative for a functioning democracy. However, since making my investment, I now realize the company will neither thrive nor serve the societal imperative in its current form. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company. Several regulatory hurdles remain before the deal becomes official. On Monday's press release, Musk said he wants to make Twitter better than ever by enhancing the product with new features, making the algorithms open source to increase trust, defeating the spam bots, and authenticating all humans. Twitter has tremendous potential. I look forward to working with the company and the community of users to unlock it. Many cheered for Musk's offer, citing Twitter's languishing share price and its alleged suppression of speech. I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter because that is what free speech means, Musk said in a Monday tweet. Others have been more direct about why this is important from a business standpoint. Twitter has done an abysmal job of creating value for shareholders, all the while multiple management teams rotating through issuing themselves options. Investor and Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary recently told CoinDesk, I applaud Elon Musk to go in there, fire everybody, and reboot the company. That's what's needed. And I guarantee you a lot of that's going to be happening because they all just, that management, if you're not invested in a company and your management, there's something wrong because all you're going to do is you're going to try and get the share price up as high as possible through, I don't know. I don't want to say like basically fancy accounting, making too high projections, whatever, so you can get out of your options contracts. Continue. PepsiCo raises revenue outlook as earnings beat estimate despite higher costs. So Pepsi just had a good earnings beat. Let's see it. Charles said, saw a tweet, if Elon buys Trudeau, I'm moving to Canada. That's right. Elon should buy Trudeau.
Yes.
He could probably buy Canada.
He probably could buy Canada at this point.
What is Canada's, hold on, I'm going to check what Canada's GDP is. $1.64 trillion. He would have to take out some financing, but $1.64 trillion. That's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
What's he like, 13% of the way there, 14% of the way?
And he's only 50. He has time.
He does have time. Time to buy Canada. Continue. No, I agree, Mindy. I feel somewhat guarded on it too. Because you can't, I don't know exactly what he's going to do with it. I know that he likes cryptocurrency, so he likes algorithms and stuff to be out in the open that people can take a look at. That way, which will be good, because that way you know exactly, it's not all hidden. Because right now it's like, oh, if I say this, will I get banned? You don't know if you're going to.
Yeah.
But if there's clear guidelines as to like, you can, it's not just, well, you can't say hate speech. Okay, what is hate speech? What is that? That is true. 1.6 is less than one omnibus bill.
Oh dear, it is.
All right, so Pepsi earnings per share 1.29 adjusted versus 1.23 expected. Revenue 16.2 billion versus 15.56 billion. And on the heels of its strong performance, the company raised its full-year forecast for organic revenue growth. Pepsi and Coca-Cola, or food and beverage companies, are a lot of times used as sort of a hedge against market downturns, so could be good news. Next. Fidelity is offering 401k investors access to Bitcoin, the first retirement plan provider to do so.
Wow.
Let's see it. Fidelity Investments said Tuesday it will offer investors the option to put Bitcoin in their 401ks, making it the first provider to offer crypto for retirement savings. The crypto offering will be available for 23,000 employers that use Fidelity to administer their retirement accounts by mid-year 22. With 11.3 trillion in assets under management, Fidelity is the nation's largest retirement plan provider, and its decision could make crypto even more popular and mainstream. There is growing interest from plan sponsors for vehicles that enable them to provide their employees access to digital assets in defined contribution plans, and in turn from individuals with an appetite to incorporate cryptocurrencies into their long-term investment strategies. But can we put Dogecoin in? That's a good question. Cloud and intelligence firm MicroStrategy will be the first employer to offer Bitcoin in their retirement plan. The Wall Street Journal reported the news earlier Monday morning. Continue. Still, regulators have urged caution against involving cryptocurrencies in 401ks. Just last month, the Department of Labor asked plan fiduciaries to exercise extreme care before they consider adding a cryptocurrency option to a 401k plan. Well, this may probably because the Department of Labor still uses Windows 98. Like, if they get with the times, then maybe they would understand. The Department of Labor cited concerns of speculation, volatility, as well as high valuation. Meanwhile, it warned of major custodial and record-keeping issues, saying simply losing or forgetting a password can result in the loss of the asset forever. So don't lose your password. Fidelity said the digital assets account is a custom plan account that holds Bitcoin and short-term money market investments to provide the liquidity needed for the account to facilitate daily transactions on behalf of the investor. So, speaking of passwords, so here's what you can do. This is why you never lose your passwords. You have one, password booklet somewhere where you hide your passwords. I would actually physically write them down. Don't just keep them on a USB.
Absolutely.
Especially for important, like all your banking passwords. One copy you keep at home, in case you have to log in case you forget something. The other copy you put in a safety deposit box. You can get a safety deposit box at a bank for $90 a year.
That's cheap. Jeez.
Small one.
Interesting.
Probably even cheaper than that.
Really?
$50 a year, $90 a year. It's not expensive. It's very cheap to get a safety deposit box. And then keep your passwords in there. But what if you lose the booklet? In your experience, Bethany? Well, the reason the booklet is lost is because you moved it. I know exactly where I put it. But then there was some dusting or some cleaning that took place, and now my password booklet is gone. The good news is I have a copy of that password booklet in a hidden location. So even if you do lose it, I'm not giving you license to lose it, but if you do lose it, I will still have my passwords. All right, let's take a look at some stocks to research. So I took a look at NEE, which is Nextera Energy. I know somebody asked me to take a look at that one. So Nextera Energy. This is a stock that I was asked to take a look at. It's a holding company for Florida Power and Light. And Nextera Energy Resources, its utility companies it's a utility company. So it's a good inflation and recession play. They're considered a defensive play by a lot of investors. They're sitting on a good amount of cash. However, debt has been increasing over the last couple of years, which I don't like. Revenue growth has been sluggish. I also don't like that. PE ratio is at over 100x. That scares me a little. Book value is sitting at 4.05x, so book value is okay. The company continues on its debt acquiring spree. I would not invest in them. At some point, if they face a crisis, they may have to be bailed out, like California Power and Light and some other companies like that, other utility companies. They do have a 2.3% dividend yield. There is some momentum to the upside for this stock, but overall as a long-term investment, I wouldn't buy. The only reason I would buy this would be because sentiment towards utility is positive, and it's a hedge for a market downturn. So that's the only reason I would get in it. NEE. And then I have another thing. So I was taking a look at this. I was reading up on this over the weekend. Are you an investor or are you a trader? There's a difference. What are you working towards? What are you trying to achieve with your portfolio? So are you an investor or are you a trader? An investor is somebody who invests to make long-term growth and gains. A trader is somebody who trades to make short-term gains. In my experience, trading takes a lot more time because you have to do a lot more research. And in the end, there's not much different. Usually there's not much difference between if you just put your money into, stocks or an index fund and between trading every single day. Unless you're really good at it, you're using charts, So it's important to make that distinction because it'll help you growing your long-term portfolio. You need to look at yourself as an investor. Doug says I'm both. I'm both too. 80% of my portfolio is in long-term investments. So that's me being an investor and not a trader. So I don't look at that portfolio as something that I trade. So like if a scenario happens like it did on Friday where the market drops, however many, 2.5%, something like that, then I don't freak out over my long-term portfolio because I know it's a long-term portfolio. So you want to make sure that you stay put and look at it as an investment and not something that you're trading. So it's important to make that distinction. If in the current market conditions, are you still confident in your investments? Not the stocks you trade, your investments. If you're not, I would make a change. Are you happy with companies that you picked? And did you pick them for long-term gains or short-term profit? You need to make that distinction. Am I going to stay in this company? If it's going to make 5%, I'm out. Or are you going to stay in this company for the long term? If you pick them for long-term gains, then don't panic when the stock market is moving the other way. Because if you research the company and are confident in them, then this will just be a downturn that's followed by another rally. So I just wanted to let you know. And not to, get all worried or whatever about your long-term investments. Look at it as an investor. I'm investing in this company for the long term. I'm in it for the long haul. If not, then you're a trader and I would sell it. I would sell it if you make some gains on it. Yes, Doug says you should have long-term before you start trading. I agree.
Interesting. Most of my young friends are doing the complete opposite.
They're trading.
They're trading first. Yeah. It's like it's the trendy thing to do. Jump right into trading, not investing.
Yeah. Trading is not going to get... A lot of times it won't get you the returns if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't understand what you're doing. Then it's just like, oh, I heard this person say, get into this. Let me get into it. You make money, the first couple of times you make money, but then you lose money. And then eventually what I see a lot happening is people will then get to a point where they're like, you know what? I'm not making any money. Investments isn't for me. You're not investing, you're trading.
You're trading. Good distinction.
If you were actually investing over the long term, if you look back at the stock market, from the 1940s. You can look at the charts, 1940s till now, 7% on average, which I know isn't great, but between 7 and 10% on average per year, compounded, that's huge.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Logan,
Yes.
is any good nuclear energy stocks?
Nuclear energy has, there's a lot. They've gone up recently. UEC, URNC. Those are some that I'm in, but I'm already up 30, 40% on them. So I don't know how much more they're going to go, but I know that nuclear energy is making a comeback.
Oh, totally.
Because everybody's talking about it again, as I knew eventually they were going to put it back into like green energy. Mm-hmm. You're welcome, Kate. Tesla predictions. I see Tesla still going up too. Because I'm looking at it as a data company now. I'm not looking at it as a vehicle company. I don't think it is the most dangerous. Because the waste that's produced from a nuclear energy company isn't as great as the waste that's produced from some other companies. Natural gas and nuclear energy are the best for creating energy. Plug is getting an Amazon and Walmart with their energy. I have seen people in Walmart that'll like ask you what you're using and try to get you signed up for some sort of
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. XLM Stellar backed by Silver is another future crypto monster.
Really?
I'll have to take a look in that. But yeah, decide whether you're an investor or you're a trader. You can trade some, but I wouldn't trade all of my portfolio. I would make sure that I invest in some companies and then just let it grow. Especially now, a lot of people are talking about how the market's going to continue to go down for a little bit. So if it continues to go down, then there'll just be a good place for you to be able to buy in and then hold it for the long term. All right, so that was it for today. If you would like to invest in Revival today, we'll give you an opportunity to do that now. They're going to put it up on the screen. #donate on Facebook. Text RT to 50155. $RT give. Venmo at RT give. RevivalToday.com/PayPal for PayPal. Cryptocurrencies. And checks. Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15329. What are we going to do for a giveaway today? Richest Man in Babylon. If you haven't got this book, I highly recommend it. It's a great read, and it's easy to understand, so we'll give that one away today. And yes, Doug said it. Build your long-term and never steal from it. Yes, I agree with that. So we'll do that as the tip of the day. Thanks, Doug. Build your long-term portfolio and never steal from it. Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Go out there and make some money today. Let's see where we're at. Markets are, markets are down. Doesn't mean that you can't make any money. There's still opportunity out there. So go out there, make some money, and we will see you all tomorrow.